if a government claims a right, and then their claim is that they derive these rights from the people.
Right.
Well, how can people give a group rights that they don't themselves have?
To steal from each other.
Right, if we can't tax people, like I can't tax you, where exactly does government derive this right from? And once you come to, you realize that the goal ought to be as voluntary a society as possible. Now, how exactly you achieve that, how far you can push that is debatable, but certainly that should be the goal. That if government is providing a service for you, well then why does it need to be provided by force?
Welcome to the Kershaw County Liberty Report. Today is January 25th, 2023. We're going to be discussing the County Council meeting and the Council of Governments meeting that was held on January 24th, which was yesterday for us.
So this is a play-by-play blow of your government.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, your government benevolent as they are.
Yes. So let's start with the County Council meeting. Public comments. They had public comments. It was only 3 minutes and 40 seconds because the new rules hadn't been adopted yet. They didn't have the third reading and vote on the new rules. So next meeting will be at 6 p.m. and every public speaker will get 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is the last meeting at the 5:30 p.m. Yeah. All the new rules go in. So let's just kind of go down through the agenda real quick, and we'll see what they had on there. We got a public presentation of the Hometown Heroes project. We had a resolution by the Kershaw County Council to express support for parental rights in education and upbringing of children. And that drew a crowd, as you might can imagine. They had a third reading of an ordinance of amended and reinstated ordinance of the Kershaw County Council determining rules of order, and that's kind of what we were talking about the change to 6 p.m. and the public comments of 5 minutes each.
Regardless of how many people sign up to speak.
Right. No limit of a half an hour anymore. In new business, discussion regarding planning and zoning, appointment of an interim clerk to council, establishment of a finance committee, funding authorization for Kershaw County opioid settlement fund, and the Cassatt Fire Station update. The big fight.
Let's go in order. How about that?
Yeah, we can go in order.
Okay. We'll skip over the Hometown Heroes project. That's, that was one of the things presented to the county government. But it's going to take the citizens to head that up and take action on it.
This is about putting the pictures of war veterans and all that have been fighting these wars of aggression all over the world, supposedly to save freedom and democracy and all that around the world. On the lamp poles where your little Christmas lights used to go, and they got ideas and all, and they've been all over selling this thing.
Sure.
Which is fine and dandy.
If the citizens take up the work and do it themselves, the county council isn't gonna have their paid crews going out and doing all this. And the light crew's not gonna do it. The citizens need to head this up.
As of yet.
If they want to do
that might come up later where suddenly one of the veterans on the council suddenly says, we love vets and we need $20,000, or we're going to let the county people put them up and down.
I don't see that happening. I think they'll just say, we'll allow it and support it, like moral support.
Okay. We had the resolution by the Kershaw County Council that was put on there by Russell Brazel to support for parental rights in education and upbringing of the children.
Right. So let's explain what is a resolution exactly. Is it a law?
No.
Is it an ordinance?
No.
Is it enforceable by any action whatsoever?
None whatsoever.
So really it's just a letter with fancy words on it that say, we support parental rights.
Basically.
That's it. And it doesn't go anywhere, doesn't do anything.
Did you listen to the whereases?
Yeah.
Because all your resolutions have whereases. You know, whereases we want this and whereases we want that.
It was kind of a half-ass whereas. You know, there was no substance to it, in my opinion. So what exactly happened? Do you know how this came about? Why Russell Brazel thought to bring this to the county council? I know what he said, but you know what really happened?
I know that there was a group that went through the library looking for
dirty books.
Dirty books, yeah. And the dirty book people found some dirty books. They claimed it'd be dirty books. I haven't seen the dirty books, so I can't tell you. I've heard all around. You see headlines all the time about this sort of thing, but I have yet to see in person, holding my hand, one of these here books.
No. Do you think they have any Franz Kafka books in there?
Probably.
How about? Do you think they have Mein Kampf in there, in that library?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they have the Communist Manifesto in there?
Oh, yeah. Marx.
They have
Lenin.
Yeah.
Stalin. Mao.
The Stephen King books, right? They have National Geographic books that are, you know, show native people.
I used to love to watch it, you know.
Hell yeah. And so these books were sought out, right? And they were in the children's section. Since the issue was brought up, they were moved to the picture book section, which a parent has to access that in order to read those books to their children, right? And so there's a process. If you have a problem with the book in the library, there's a process you follow. You file a complaint form, it goes up to the board reviews it, but then you also have a right to appeal to the board after that. Apparently Russell didn't follow through the whole process before he made this tried to make this resolution.
Well, I think the fundamental thing comes down to if he's arguing for upbringing, the rights to upbring your children and all, that also comes with responsibility.
Absolutely.
And
that wasn't brought up at all.
No. And you know, there's a lot of confusion around. People complaining about CRT in the classrooms and all, and books in the library and all this kind of stuff. Well, it seems to me that you're trying to put off blame onto somebody else when it's you as a parent that are responsible for both the education and what your children learn and are able to access through a library.
Yeah. It's just the same thing as parents hand their kids an iPad to get them to shut up.
Yeah,
You just hand them an iPad that has access to the internet. That could
or
be
Fox News, just Fox News 24/7,
Yeah.
or Rachel Madcow, repeats of Rachel Madcow over and over.
SpongeBob
and over
SquarePants.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It could be anything. You know, Bill Nye the fake science guy. It could be him.
Yeah. You know, you see parents go to the school board all the time to complain and complain and complain when they're laying the blame for their education problems on the school board when it's your problem because you should do something different if you don't agree with what's happening.
Parents want to blame the schools for bringing up shithead kids when really it's the parents' fault that these kids are shitheads.
Yeah, and then go back again because we're all victims of the same machine.
Sure.
I did the same thing. My kids were, the last one was in high school when I realized what the hell was going on. So it was a little late to homeschool at that point.
Yeah, but I understand the single parent problem. If you're a single parent and you're trying to raise your children, and I completely empathize with that. I was a single parent since 2010, or no, 2014. But anyway, I raised my boys. They had to go to public school. I couldn't afford to send them to a private school. I couldn't homeschool. I had to work. And I get it. But I had to basically run a counter-indoctrination campaign with my kids and get them to think critically when they're doing their homework and say it's a history book, a history homework, I would make them, they would question. I didn't make them, they questioned on their own. I would ask them questions that would get their brain to start thinking about it. That doesn't happen in these public schools because they don't have the time for it. They can't individualize their education towards each kid and the way that they learn and their interests. It's just a factory putting out workers.
Yeah.
Drones, you know.
Yeah. No matter what they say it is,
it was
one of the arguments is the reason that you might not have the resources to send to your kid to a proper education is because you are paying the taxes to the state to begin with. And here in Kershaw, here in South Carolina, it's over $13,000 a year they spend per child.
No, it's
$35,000. I think it's 13, somewhere around there. There was a state out Midwest that yesterday was talking about they only spend $5,000 a year. But let's just say just $10,000 a year.
Okay.
If you had you were no longer taxed, nobody was taxed for it, but you got a $10,000 credit on your tax for educating your kid, would you pick public education versus private Christian education or
online homeschooling,
liberty education, or online or whatever, and whatever that you spend in that process would be taken off that taxes up to a $10,000 limit.
That'd be great. It's never going to happen because it's too big of a business.
It's a monopoly, and it's grown to a
circus.
Just like I said in the public comment, I said, I'm an abolitionist. I do not agree with public education. I think in a free society, it is very dangerous to allow the state to educate the youth. And look at the result of 100 years of public education. We have a disaster. We keep pouring more and more into it and getting less and less out of it. Society is cracking around the edges, and it's mainly because of the education system. Purposely done now. And so Russell's resolution is reaching out and bashing a problem, but it's a symptom of the problem, and he doesn't realize that the problem is a monopoly on the youth. And they always want them to get them younger and younger and younger. So it's an appropriate response of yuck, yuck, yuck.
Sure.
Wrong forum. It's the wrong way to go about arguing about it.
Wrong forum for that. Do you think that Russell Brazel don't you think he would have more of an impact if he went to the school board meeting and spoke as a county, like, I am a county councilman, I represent this district, here's how my constituents feel about this issue. Please address it and let's have a discussion.
Well, I think first you got to be educated. I mean, you
can't just watch Fox News and then say, I'm making a resolution.
He's in the middle of the problem. He's looking at the symptom, and he hasn't studied what led you there.
He doesn't know what the Prussian model is.
He doesn't understand the Prussian model. He doesn't understand the vocational schools. He doesn't understand that the corporation has now got free labor, free trained labor. And the public's paying for it instead of how it used to be.
The guy who put it into place in the United States is the one who invented the assembly line factory. So if you look
at and Dewey Decimal,
if you look at the school system, it's an assembly line. They start putting you together the way they want you as you progress through the different grade levels. There was some heated. Almost heated public comments about this, right? There was some questions about what is human sexuality, and
we all see that now, that the Marxist ideology of there is no truth is filtering down, and nobody knows what to do about it. And so you have people fluctuating, because it seemed like a nice lady was up there public commenting, and I couldn't tell whether she was gay and LBGT boo Q RZ XYZ, or she just wanted that to be taught and nobody else, or she didn't want it to be. I couldn't tell.
I think there's I don't know what you would call it. There's like the patriarchy, right? The matriarchy, and I think there's a class of people who are teachers, educators, they say, and they feel like they are up here above the parents.
Yeah,
where I know what's best. You just settle down. I'm an educator. I'm a professional here. Yeah. You just let me handle teaching your children. And people are depending on these public schools to literally raise their children. And when these children aren't being raised properly according to the parents, they just go complain about it, and they say, "Damn, what? There's nothing we can do about it. This public school is shit."
Yeah.
In the meantime, they're not doing anything at home.
It's interesting. Everybody worships the school.
I don't get it.
Jimmy Jones gave this. Oh, I love the school. The school never hurts it. The school. We love the schools. Right. Schools. He's blind too. Yeah. They all are to a certain extent. Until you do your homework, you realize what's really going on. They have a way of befuddling you into believing. It's kind of like the thin blue line worship and all that, and then the Pledge of Allegiance worship and all that. It's all about this worship of these experts that are going to run our world and
right.
The elite.
But people have forgotten that nobody knows best how to raise their family than the people in that family.
Well, with a few exceptions.
Absolutely. But I
nowadays, a lot of exceptions.
I think a lot of parents are scared to homeschool their children because they feel like they're not educated enough to teach their children. Yeah. But what you don't realize, you actually learn best by teaching. If let's say I'm not strong in algebra, right, and my son has algebra homework, I'm gonna have to go
relearn
how to do some algebra and be like, okay, well, here's how you do it, and then I'm doing it with him. And I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. Right. This is not that difficult.
Parenting is the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Yeah.
It just is. Mm-hmm. And so it's easy to let somebody else take some load off of you.
Right.
And over the years, they took more and more load off of us. But it comes back to personal responsibility in everything you look at.
And it's especially evident in two-income households. When you have mom and dad both working full-time jobs, sometimes more than 40 hours a week. But then you look at what they have in their driveway. 2 cars they have loans on. They have a $250,000 Great Southern Homes shitbox house. They have a big screen TV. Everybody's got cell phones. Everybody's got iPads, and they go down to the beach all the time. And, so what they're doing is trading their children for pleasure.
Yeah.
Literally sacrificing your children for pleasure.
Yeah. And all free time or whatever it may be.
It's pleasure. It's
for something. You're relinquishing your duties to another.
Even athletics, when these kids, like, if you go to Lugoff Elgin High School and go walk around that school, right, and look at the condition it's in, even after they rehab the whole place, then go out and walk on the football field and go look at that baseball field and you could see where the money's going. That $13,000, $13,500 per child, how much of that is sliced off right off the bat to go to the athletic program?
Well, and it's top heavy with supervisors and all that kind of stuff. And
they got a school bus. They got their own bus dedicated to them. They get new uniforms every year. They got the dirt has to be taken care of on the baseball field. Otherwise, the ball won't bounce right when it hits the ground on a ground ball. Then you go up to the administration, and you go to the school district, and the administrator. And you're like, damn, that's a nice suit this guy's wearing. How much does he make a year? $230,000?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the teachers are coming to us and saying, we don't get paid enough. We need a pay raise. You need to raise taxes so we can get paid more.
Yeah. Right. They'll all tell you that
look
it's
at your boss.
They'll all tell you that it's top heavy.
Right.
Everybody not everybody, but a majority of Americans agree that the public school system is a failure. That all these yellow indoctrination buses running around are stupid. Everything.
I think the majority.
But nobody, very rarely do you see somebody like me come in there and say, look, we need to abolish the whole damn thing. We need some competition. We need private schools all over the place, and let the competition begin, and let the best win out, and the pieces of crap teachers, because y'all all know who they are, would be out of business.
Yes.
And go flipping hamburgers at McDonald's for $17 an hour.
I am majorly in favor of these local community co-ops, these education co-ops, where let's take a neighborhood, even a block in the neighborhood, say there's 10 kids on there, and those families of those 10 kids get together and say, hey, let's hire a teacher to come and teach our children this homeschool curriculum, and we could go to work, and the teachers, and the kids all know each other, they're all friends, they can have study groups together, and that is absolutely great. And you know what? They can go have a baseball game in the backyard, just like I did when I was a kid.
the government provides that shit too.
Right.
Look at the rec department talking about building all kinds of damn baseball fields and water parks and damn cornhole tournament things and all kinds of crazy
Pickleball
shit.
courts.
Yeah. Yeah. So, get government out of the business of educating you damn young and providing you with some kind of place to ride a damn bicycle.
During my public speaking, I dedicated 5 seconds to say, quit giving your kids to the government for indoctrination. That's pretty much. Look, I'm going to tell you, here's my thoughts on education in this book. Parents need to have more control over what their kids are consuming, and they need to stop giving their kids over to the government for indoctrination. Period.
You're just giving it to the beast.
Yes. Yeah. This goes back to our conversation we had before the last podcast.
Yeah.
It's like sacrificing your children to Moloch.
To Moloch. Yeah. All right. We're done with Russell Brazel.
What we got?
Well, we had the third reading of the rules, and we already kind of covered that.
We're all for that. That was great.
The discussion regarding the planning and zoning.
Yeah, it seemed like they were slapping somebody's hand during that, right? They mentioned a name, and I don't know who it was. It was a woman, and it seemed like they were saying, "Hey, Danny Templar, tighten up this planning and zoning department."
Yeah, there's something about there's been some aggravated people.
A lot of people have been complaining.
Yeah.
About the rude poor customer service, which is strange because anytime you have to go up there, usually all the people that work at the government center. It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, even the tax collector.
They're nice.
Even the tax collector, up there. The little kid that I had to go pay my extortion fee, and little buckwheat, he didn't even have a gun.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't even have a gun.
I bet he had his finger on the button.
I went up there and told him, I'm here to pay my extortion fee, He was very nice about it.
They're polite while they take your money.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Usually, I'm in Missouri. If you go to the people are rude as hell, always, and it's the norm. When somebody's nice, you're like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like they were dressing somebody down, basically telling Danny, get this shit straight.
Yeah, I think that was it. All right, we got the interim clerk. They appointed Lauren Reeder after Mary Sigler went out.
And Lauren Reeder's a complete sweetheart.
She's she doesn't control anything anyway. But she's a nice lady. Establishment of a finance committee, and that's working through. They'll start the process of budget. And in that, they tried to Jimmy Jones tried to nominate Russell. Russell refused it.
Yeah.
Sammy nominated Jimmy, or did
no? I think Russell nominated Danny Cato.
Yeah.
Or no, somebody nominated Brant Tomlinson.
Yeah, and Brant accepted.
He accepted.
Danny Cato was nominated, but did not accept it because he hadn't been there long enough.
Right.
And
then Sammy Tucker got nominated.
By
Katie Gwynn.
By Katie, yeah. And because of his experience in the many years of overspending, shall we say, and hiding stuff and bringing ordinances at the last damn reading.
But you ain't gonna do that anymore because the new rules passed. They can't do that.
Yeah.
So then Jimmy Jones was nominated, and he said, "Crap." He didn't want to do it, but he said, "I'll do it temporarily until the new guy comes on board, and then we'll figure it out."
And then if he doesn't want to do it, I'll still do it.
Yeah,
is what he said.
Right.
So Jimmy,
the new
quote
guy,
unquote, reluctantly accepted the
new guy, Shoemake. Let's talk about this real quick.
Who won? I didn't even know.
280 people voted in District 3. 240 of them voted for Shoemake, and 60 people voted for the other guy. 280 people.
I would have voted for it. When you saw the picture on the Camden Comical thing, there was a old redneck guy with a baseball cap on, no tie, and a shirt, nice shirt, decent shirt. And then there was Shoemake, whatever the hell his name is.
He was all gussied up.
Yeah, all gussied up and all, in his pork suit. Yeah. That's what I call them damn suits when they put them on, the pork suits. Yeah. Because they're going to get some poke. Mm-hmm. If you looked at that, you should have in your mind said, I'd rather that dumbass redneck be up there than this guy with an agenda.
The demographic of Elgin has completely changed, and it is 180 degrees different than the rest of the county now.
It's going blue. It's going blue the next time.
It will.
If y'all want to like red, white, and blue.
Yeah. If you think there's a difference.
Yeah.
Sammy Tucker's the chairman of this committee. And you got Brant Townsend and half of Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones halfway in. Mm-hmm. But the reason that they had the special rules, the second reading, a special meeting for this reading, is so they could get started on the budget process earlier than normal. So that way everybody has time to get their stuff, their budgets in, get everything in. There should be no need for any last minute amendments. And they're not going to be allowed. They have to be written down on paper before the meeting. Yeah. Before the third reading.
And that was a good move if you're going to have this stuff. All right, we got funding authorization of Kershaw County Opioid Settlement Fund. That was Mara Jones and
no
Alpha
idea.
Center.
It was $520-something thousand. I don't know where that money's coming from. I don't know what the heck they're going to spend it on. She stood up there and talked for a long time, and I tried to pay my best attention, and I have no clue what the hell.
That's another one of those federal government grants.
Is that what it is?
Having to do with the opioid crisis that
the federal government
those
created.
People settled for a couple of $1 billion or whatever, but made $50 billion, and that was their little wrist slap, and they're flying jets to Davos.
Yeah.
And then we borrow money from the Federal Reserve to send down here to help the people that are addicted to opioids that the Davos people pushed on us. That's what the bullshit was. And of course they agreed on that.
Some flyers and whatnot, have rescue dogs and
they got all kinds of little plans.
Yeah.
Cassatt Fire Station update. This is you, Matthew. This is you. Go for it, babe.
All right. So, if you watched the last show, we talked about the issue with the Cassatt Fire Station. Really, the only issue, there was no issue that it was being built. There was no issue with it being on Highway 1 in Cassatt. There was no issue with it being manned 24 hours a day by firemen. Firefighters, I should say, because I don't know who's going to be there. I ain't going to call them the firemen yet. The only issue we had is that it was built right up on the property. That they cleared everything up to the property line of this man's fence. It appeared at first glance that they were building right on the property line. With the county would have been within their right to build up to 10 feet away from the property line. Right, so there's a 20-foot buffer. Property line goes down the middle. So in their graciousness, they moved it 60 feet over, or something like that, 160.
It's 115 feet from the property line to the corner of the building.
Right.
Not the concrete.
Not the concrete, not the driveway, not the parking area, right? So our concern was the homeowner there had no idea what was going on, and because they just bought the property. The county just showed up one day and people started cutting trees down. My question, I immediately called the county and said, what's going on here? There was some misinformation put out. That was corrected. They said they admit, yeah, it's going to be a fire station. Okay, cool. Do you think it was the right thing to build it right next to the only house within a half mile from here? Like, is that right? And it raised it started one question, raised another question, raised another question, raised another. It ended up that the county called a halt to the construction. Let's put a pause on it, right? All they did was park the tractors and went and worked on another job site. The tractors are still there. There was no demobilization. They don't need to remobilize like Pete the engineer was talking about last night.
Oh, well, let's stop right there. So that was the going into the meeting. That's how everything was set up at this point.
Yeah.
And then as they opened up this part of the discussion,
yes,
we got to the questions of Danny Templer, the administrator.
Well, let me say this: during the public comment section, there were concerned citizens from Cassatt who showed up, who were on both sides of the argument, right? And most of it were saying, "Why did we stop the construction? We need a fire station. We need firefighters here." I think they were just misunderstanding what we were trying to do. We weren't trying to stop the construction of this fire station forever. We were just saying, how did this come about? Maybe we should stop now rather than later and look at what's going on here. And it was the process of how this decision was made is what I was questioning. First of all, it's kind of an asshole move to build a fire station right next to a house. The county's well within their rights to do it, though. The people who bought that house, their real estate agent should have done some due diligence and came back to them like, hey, you could buy this house, but you need to know that there's going to be a fire station built next door, right? That didn't happen, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem, right? The homeowners. That's between them and their real estate agent. My problem with the county government was that somebody made this decision to put the fire station right there. So my question was, who wanted to put it there? Why did they want to put it there? When was this decision made? Who gave the green light to say, go, cut the trees down, let's do this? That's the decision's made, let's go. All right?
So what did we find out?
What we found out was back in 2019, the property was purchased for about $59,000, somewhere around there. And it's 12 acres. The county got a great deal on it. The guy said, I'll sell you the land. They only wanted to buy 4 acres. The guy said, no, you got to buy all 12. So, okay, we'll buy all 12. Gene Falkenberry, who was at the time the emergency management director, along with Pete the engineer and Vic Carpenter, walked the property. Gene Falkenberry stood in the spot and said, I want my fire station right here. Okay. Pete the engineer went back, started drawing up the plans, and then they went and got their soil samples.
They started the process. And that was it. That decision. That decision was without any public input, right, without any councilman's input,
right,
that we know at this point.
Right.
But that was made unilaterally. Mm-hmm. It'd be like them going down and building a brand new courthouse on 10 acres and not going to county council and saying, well, this is the options that you can do it.
Yes. So what they wanted to do was duplicate Blaney Fire Station here in Cassatt and make it a hub up for the east side of the river. Okay, and that's all fine and dandy, right? The problem was it was done in an office somewhere in the county building or in a coffee shop downtown, and the public wasn't notified of this. If they would have came to county council and said, we would like to build this fire station right here, you could guarantee some people would say, do you really think it's a good idea to build that right next to somebody's house? But their excuse is, well, we talked to them and they were fine with it. They said, okay, no problem. Build it wherever you want. But shortly after that conversation, that person sold that and got the hell out of there.
Yeah. The whole process did not have public input on what was going on that piece of property and where it was going to be located.
And by public input, we mean the representatives we elected. And,
it should have been.
And the people
should have been brought before council.
Yes.
That here's what we've come up with.
For discussion only.
Well, this is what we would like to do, however how they want to present it,
right.
and then solicit public comment as well as county council members' public comment.
Yes.
All on record, so everybody knows exactly what's going on, and if there is a problem, you can address it then, instead of waiting until all of a sudden stuff happens and not a damn soul knows what's going on.
I had no idea they were starting this project, and I'm pretty involved in the county government.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
I had no idea until I drove down I was heading south on Highway 1, and I saw 4 acres of land cut down to the dirt.
Yeah. All right. Now, one of the things I was interested in is the way our project manager addressed council. It was as if he was the godly man that is ruling from Mount High.
I'm the keeper of the knowledge.
Yeah. And it's going to cost $50,000 to demobilize and mobilize and all this kind of horse shit.
Right.
When I know damn well it ain't gonna cost $50,000. But then he said he was going to request an invoice from whoever is doing that job for the demobilization, remobilization, and you can bet your damn ass that somebody was there that said, look man, they plan on $50,000. So you know what they're gonna say? All right, let's hit them for $45,382.06.
Yeah. So
he is so full of shit, so damn arrogant.
Well,
I would fire him so fast. And if they don't fire him, that shows something in and of itself.
Yes. When Pete the engineer, Katie Gwynn, Danny Templer, and somebody else was out there with
Jimmy.
No, with the homeowners. He threw out $400,000 already been spent. It would cost another $400,000. We're going to have to spend $400,000 to move it. When he was in front of the county council, he said $276,000 at first. Then that changed to $272,000, right? But then up on the slide, it had $541,000.
Yeah,
he was fucking lying.
He was CYA-ing.
Yes, and he blamed a dead man. He threw Gene Falkenberry under the bus and blamed a dead man.
Yeah.
And everybody bought.
Well, a dead man can't tell any tales.
Right. So.
And Vic Carpenter's in Virginia.
Right. And
so all your witnesses are gone. So, you know.
Yeah, it's Pete the engineer's working against ours.
I'm telling you now, I would fire him so fast it'd make your head spin.
I completely agree. I was told that he's a valuable asset to the county because he's
an ass. He is an ass.
Because he's an asshole to the contract and holds them accountable. Look, any engineer is like that.
Yeah.
Any engineer is basically autistic. They don't have any personality. They're not friendly at all.
And they look
at numbers.
They just look at that damn plot.
No, they'll tell you, I'm an engineer. Why are you questioning me?
Yeah.
Or I'm a Navy man. Don't question me.
I'd fire him.
Yeah.
So that was basically what we had. I mean, well, in the end,
they presented 3 different options, or 4. Stay the same. We can move it 130 feet. We can move it X amount of feet. We can turn it, flip it sideways, and do it.
We can do all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Now, all of a sudden, we can do all kinds of
stuff.
We can do all kinds of stuff now. Right. We could even shove it all the way down there by the Dollar General and move the retaining pond and everything. We could do that now, but damn, it's gonna cost too much.
It's gonna be another year or so till.
Son of a bitch! I'm telling you. I'd have thrown my cell phone at the window right after I said, "You're fired."
Yeah, you're fired.
Donald Trump his ass.
They should have fired him right there on the spot.
Oh my God.
God. I would have been like, "Sir, you don't fit what we're trying to do here with the county, and we appreciate your service. Have a nice."
Oh, you'd have been that nice?
No, I wouldn't actually. But I'm just trying to I'm trying to balance your righteous anger.
I'd have sent him out on a damn aircraft carrier somewhere.
So they presented these three options. Then it was brought up, well, there's contingency money. Maybe we could plant more trees, and these trees grow 2 feet a year. And bro, you're raising the ground up 6 feet. These people have a 6-foot privacy fence. So a fire truck sits, the people riding in the fire truck sit another 3 feet up, or 4 feet up off the ground. The lights are another 4 feet above them. You're not accomplishing shit. So it was brought up by Russell Brazel. Hey, let's give them $50,000. They pick the trees out, whatever they want. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, wow, that's quite a interesting precedent to set for the county government to be given $50,000 for landscaping. So anytime they build a building that's near somebody's home now, they're going to have to consult with the homeowner, which I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody told me, well, they're opening themselves up to lawsuits anytime they build something. If they build too close to somebody's house, they're going to sue them because this is the I said, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't build no shit near people's houses.
If this is a prime example of why that would let's put some chains back on these dogs.
Yes. And I think that's
what they are. These people are supposed to be servants, not masters.
Well, here's what we accomplished last night. Okay, the seedy underbelly of the old regime was exposed last night. Okay, and it was made very clear to the bureaucrats that we are not operating like this anymore. While this council's in these chairs, we're not operating like that. Every plan that you want to do, that you want to start, needs to come to the county council. I had the idea, I was talking to Katie a week or so ago, and I said, how hard would it be to put 2 4x4s in the ground and a sheet of plywood and some laminated thing up there saying, coming soon to Cassatt, your new fire station. And then put a picture of the fire station up there and put the drawing up there, here's where it's going to be. Put it out there 3 weeks in advance before you break ground. Then when people drive by and be like, oh shit, they're putting a fire station? Wait a second, they're building it right next to somebody's house? That's kind of strange. Call your county councilman, say, hey, do you really think it's a good idea to build this fire station next to somebody's house when you could put it up by the Dollar General? Then they'd be like, oh, we haven't cut any trees down. Maybe we should rethink this.
Well, going straight into a project like this, it should have been many options of what to do on that major piece
acres.
Of property.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been fundamental instead of one clown coming out there that has no experience in any building or land development or anything. He's just a fire guy.
Here's the problem. Gene Falconberry was a volunteer fireman, and firemen love shiny new toys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We love the shiny new toys, new truck, new tools, new this, whatever, new air packs.
Yeah.
We love it. Okay, cool. We love it and we like it. That doesn't mean you're going to get it. That doesn't mean you should get it. And we all understand that. There's 2 ways to go about it, right? There's we have everything brand new, shiny, brand new trucks, brand new tools, brand new station. I worked at one of those stations. But I've also worked at the other end of it, Camden Fire Department, where it's like, no, we need to keep this 1985 Ford truck in case our new truck goes down, which does go down for service regularly. Now you have a 1985 Ford with a straight drive that the damn thing can, barely. Yeah. Nobody knows how to drive the thing except people like me who are 40.
To the other.
Yeah. Okay, so let's maybe find a happy medium. And I think what we accomplished last night is, from now on, any project that the county's going to do, they're going to post a sign that says, your new whatever is going to start being built here. If you have any questions, call this number, right? We have transparency was brought back to the county council. This conversation could have easily happened behind closed doors. It could have happened in the administrator's office, and they could have talked about this and blah blah blah.
And it could have very well happened in executive session.
Exactly. If it was the old council, it definitely would have happened in executive session. They wouldn't even have had this conversation. They would have been like, well, we got 2 people complaining, 3 people. No, we're moving ahead. This is the fire station. We need it.
Yeah.
Right. So it was made very clear by Katie Gwynn and Jimmy Jones that this is not the way we're going to operate from now on.
Yeah, I appreciated what council did last night. I think it's one step.
One step.
I want to see more results.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, I'd have fired him. I'd have fired Pete, and he needs to be fired.
I hope that option is not off the table.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
To me, bureaucrats are some of the most expendable.
If you're going to start out on a good step, you need to take the next step forward and hold that one accountable.
Definitely. He's the only one left out of the 3.
Yeah, and he blew sunshine and lollipops and doom and gloom.
There wasn't no sunshine
up everybody's ass at that meeting.
He fed them a spoonful of shit.
Yeah.
And said, all right, you want this shit sandwich or do you want to eat this double-decker shit sandwich? Which one do you want to eat? Because if somebody's going to eat one of them. All right, and then he's gone. He's back to doing whatever the hell he does with his life. And the question I raised during my public comments is, does anybody know the inner workings of a fire department and what the daily schedule is like? None of you up here know that. None of you. And none of you even thought to ask about it. What's a day in the life of a firefighter? And how does a fire station operate? Nobody.
Yeah.
Right? The firefighters that were sitting in the back, they're not going to stand up, and that's not their place to get into the public eye and start arguing about politics.
Yeah.
They're just there to serve the people. If there was one altruistic servant of the people, it's a firefighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you moan about, you shiny fire and stuff and how y'all cook skitty all the time.
The only reason it's shiny is because we take care of the equipment that the people pay for. That's your fire engine.
Yeah.
That's your engine, and we are the stewards of that engine. And we take good care of it.
Yeah,
we
y'all
take
do
ownership.
A good job. Y'all do a good job. So that in the end, yeah, you won some.
It was a victory.
Yeah, overall it was a victory. I think it is a small step for. What was it Neil Armstrong said?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
No, he said it, but it was
one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Well, in this case, it'd be Madam Chair.
Yeah, I was impressed with Katie Gwynn and the way she handled all the situations last night that came about. She was composed and was in charge, clearly.
Yeah.
Now, it looked a little chaotic. If you're watching the video, it looked like a bunch of amateurs up there, arguing and fighting back and forth. And good. That's what you want. You want amateurs in your government.
Yeah.
You don't want polished politicians and lawyers up there. Even though a lawyer was just elected yesterday to take the place of the last lawyer that was in there.
Yeah, we got lawyers all over the place.
So
got 2 of them up there now.
You want normal, everyday folks to be in your county government because they have normal, everyday folk common sense. Usually, you would hope.
Well, but, my saying, the damn do-gooders are going to get in there.
Brant Thompson's a lawyer, too.
Yeah, right? Brant's a lawyer, too. So we got 2 of them up there.
2 lawyers up there.
So
2 lawyers and 2
In the end,
cops.
we did good, and we had a good crowd, and I thought we would because a crisis brings them out.
Yeah. One of the public speakers was the owner of the Highway 1 Cafe. I love her to death. She is a hard-working woman. If you go in there to eat, you talk about somebody who runs her business.
They have good vittles.
She runs her damn business, and she knows what she's doing. She's a sharp businesswoman.
If you're doing a road trip up here to Cassatt to see what the government did, stop by. Just keep going just a little bit north, and it's right there on your right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, boys and girls, they got good vittles. Man.
Look, I want more people to start coming to Highway 1 Cafe so they'll bring the supper back, and we can get our grilled pork chop dinners again. Because they bring a grill up there from home, I'm guessing.
Right.
And they grill pork chops all day for the supper. It's good, man. Their greens are good.
It's hard to beat a grilled pork chop.
Dude, I love the place. I love their food. I love the people who run it. I love the people who work there. I love Cassatt. We were on different sides of this argument here, but I called her this morning, and we had a long conversation, and I even exchanged words with her boyfriend in the back of the room, because he's upset because they're going to spend money because one person complained is what they think. Oh, we're not,
Yeah.
I totally get it, dude. I understand.
And if you don't know what's in play completely,
details,
you can get off track. And this argument was not that we're not. It was all about that process. And how do we mitigate the mistakes that have already been made?
Right.
To kind of minimize what the hell is going on.
And now I think the county's going to look at putting in a more robust barricade for the sound and the lights. I'm advocating for, they have money. They have the money. It's a $2.7 million bond. The money's already there. It's already been spent. 2.7. We're going to have to pay that back. They're only spending 1.9 on the construction. So what I'm going to advocate for is to put a 10-foot high wall between the fire department and the residents. The length of that fence line.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would that would have to
plus
be
the trees that are going to grow 2 feet per.
It'd have to be kind of looked at to see. They're at 5 and then 10, and then you're looking at a wall, and then. I think right now I'm with Russell. Let them figure it out and do it like that. Let's have a discussion.
And I'm telling you right now, this discussion would not have happened 2 months ago. There's no way they would have heard the people of the county.
Yeah.
There's no way. But now the people that we elected, they're doing what we elected them for. We're sick of the old way. We don't want the Julian Burns way of ruling from on high.
We want a servant.
Yes.
What they claim to be is a benevolent servant of the people.
Right.
If that's what you're going to claim, that's what we want. And in order to be that, we have to be vigilant. That's what I told them at the county council meeting. I said, look, I'm an anarchist, and I'm up here talking to you guys. Because of that.
Yes. You need to be involved.
Because I need to know what you're doing.
Right.
In order to figure out how I'm going to get rid of your jobs.
You need to know your enemy, man.
Yeah.
It's the art of war.
And you don't have to be nasty and all. No. We had the best conversation. And if you guys are watching this, go back and look at the video I just posted about where I just kind of put that conversation out there because it was so interesting to me. And I don't know how many people with ADD are going to watch the thing, but it's a great interview with government employees, people that love government, and how much is agreed upon.
Yes.
In that conversation.
Here's the real, when you boil it down, we're human beings, and we can communicate with each other without getting on a microphone and shouting each other down.
Yeah, I'm bad.
There's always common ground. There's always common ground to be had.
Yeah,
there's always common ground.
Don't get me wrong. I'm as guilty as the next about jumping up and down.
Oh, yeah.
And people that know me know that when I get animated, my hands will do this and this kind of thing like that. But.
Here's the thing. Apparently, some people think that I'm intimidating, and I don't understand it. I'm the nicest dude you'll ever meet.
Yeah, you're pretty nice.
But like old Mad Dog said, what's his name? The general, the Marine Corps general back during the Iraq War. You'll have no better friend and no worse enemy.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have enough enemies. I always tell people all the time, I got plenty of friends. I need more enemies. Right? And that's just a joke. But, look, if you fuck around in my backyard, you will have no worse enemy. And I get angry, and I will get loud, and I will be aggressive. Because I want to defend what's mine. I want to help protect my neighbors here in Cassatt. I want I want people to leave Cassatt alone. But this northeastern part of the county is the last rural part of our county. This is it. We need to draw the line, man, and say, no, we're not putting up with this shit. You know, Bethune wants to grow and be like a little mini Camden. That's Bethune's business. They're a town. They can do
a lot of times, instead of building the wall here, you have to go over yonder and fight them before you get to here.
Right.
And that's what you're kind of doing.
Yes.
That's what I'm kind of doing. I'm trying to hold back this big government central planning nightmare that's coming. It's like I told them in the COG meeting. I said we are headed in either full socialism or fascism or some combination of that, and y'all know it, you smell it, you taste it, and I'm worried.
Yeah. Well, after the county council meeting, the great Jim Webb was there. And I love that man to death. He's a treasure of Kershaw County. I've said it time and time again. And I told him, I said, hey, we just pushed him back about a foot. Tom Webb. No, Jim. Who's Jim Webb? Jim Webb was a congressman, I think.
I don't know.
Tom Webb. I apologize, Tom. I'm sorry. Tom Webb, the goat man. I told him, we just pushed him back about a foot. They're tyranny by, they're inches. They want to move the goalpost inches. If we just push them back about a foot, we need to use their own tactics against them. Keep pushing back a little bit. And we could do it.
Yeah.
It just takes involvement and vigilance, like you said.
One thing I would like to mention and applaud was in Katie Gwynn's closing remarks.
Oh, yeah.
Where she had told Danny Templer to remove any reference to Vision 2030 on the county website, anywhere on the website. I texted her this morning and said I appreciate that.
I called. That's really the reason I called her before I came here.
Right.
She said that damn thing was underneath my signature block on everything. Everything I'd signed, it'd go up and it said Vision 2030. And she's like, and also the IT guy that's at the county council meeting, he got praised by the chairwoman, and I also want to praise him because this young man, I guess.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
He's proactive. Yeah, I'm 43 now.
I'm
44,
62.
so I call him a young man.
Well, almost 63.
He's proactive. When somebody brings up something relating to IT in the county council meetings, the next day he'll go to Danny or the chairwoman and say, "Hey, y'all mentioned this about the something with IT. You want me to go ahead and get started on that now?" And that's what he did with the Vision 2030. Yeah. Hey, you guys want me to go ahead and... I
was just looking for something on the county website and county council and all, and I noticed that Julie's name was still chairman and all that kind of stuff. And I was talking to Danny later that afternoon, and I said, "Tell little IT boy he needs to get on this. I don't think Julie's in there anymore."
Yeah.
And Danny giggled a little bit. He said, "I'm glad you caught that thing."
I bet he handled it. Yeah. Let's see. Let me look it up on my phone right now. Go ahead and start talking. Did they fix it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Council of Governments.
Well, we'll hit on that just a little bit. And like I said, there's a video about that whole thing that was canceled, basically. And then they were supposed to give us these surveys. And you can go to the government center and go up to 207 up there, which is the county administrative office, and you can get a copy of these surveys and all that they're going to be putting out. And they're required by the big government upstairs to do these things every year. And they've got economic development, and they give you priorities and all. They've got infrastructure, they've got public facilities, they've got elimination of slum and blight, They've got affordable housing. They've got fair housing. They've got all kinds of stuff in there for you to fill out and all about how government it could help you. And so if you're a big government, loves to help you and everything, and you send your kids to public education and that kind of thing, you might want to go get these things and fill them out as everything is #1 priority for you. And the government will help you. That's basically what happened. The rest of it, go look at the video.
Yeah. Are you going to just put a link in the comments?
There'll be a link right at the end of this. You guys can go see it.
There you go. All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Vision 2030 is not on the Kershaw County website anymore.
Vision 2030 is dead.
It is archived. It's archived,
dead.
like the minutes of the meetings and all that. They have to keep that on there because it's public information and all that. But it's not. It's when you click on Kershaw County and you go to their front page. It used to be right there.
Right there.
It's gone.
Yeah.
All right. So ding dong, the witch is dead.
We still have to worry about this overall comprehensive plan.
Yes.
We have to worry about that
Let me talk about
because
that for
they
a second.
will have some wonderful cornhole things for us.
Let me talk about this. There are 7 people on the Planning and Zoning Commission, whatever the hell they want to call it. We'll call it committee. Planning and Zoning Committee. Out of those 7 people, 3 of them are from District 2. Where's District 2, Jeff? Downtown Camden.
Oh, well, they
Do-gooders.
yeah, damn do
Horse people.
Yeah. Well, so we got to stay vigilant.
You have to stay vigilant. What I'm working on now is figuring out a way to make this a process where the whole county is represented on the Planning and Zoning Committee, and the whole county is represented in the formation and the input on the comprehensive plan. So that's one of my goals that I'm working for in the future. I think that's it, right?
Well, report back to headquarters when you get that all planned out.
Yeah, well, that's one of my strategies for the future. I don't usually let my strategies out too much. Caitlin was talking to Katie Glenn yesterday, and she said something. I was like, "Hey, don't be giving away no secrets. Loose lips sink ships, baby."
Yeah.
Like that's
Well, overall, I think we had a good time.
it's always
it was a long ass meeting. I will tell you that.
Man, I'm tired as shit. I didn't get to bed till after 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
man.
So, in the end, Russell's little resolution was defeated.
Russell's going to do what Russell does.
Yeah, and we got some kind of relief from the Cassatt Fire Department.
Yep.
Hopefully we have tweaked the process where the public can be more involved. And we did away with the vision of the 2030 Julie Burns.
Mm-hmm. Come visit Cassatt. Go to the Cassatt Country Store. Get fuel in your vehicle. Then go over to Highway 1 Cafe. Enjoy a nice breakfast. They're only open for breakfast and lunch, so go get your breakfast over there. And then get your butt out of Cassatt. Go back to where you came from.
And these YouTubers, they always say, be sure on your way out, hit like and subscribe.
Whatever.
And tune in next time to the Kershaw County Liberty Report. Peace.
if a government claims a right, and then their claim is that they derive these rights from the people.
Right.
Well, how can people give a group rights that they don't themselves have?
To steal from each other.
Right, if we can't tax people, like I can't tax you, where exactly does government derive this right from? And once you come to, you realize that the goal ought to be as voluntary a society as possible. Now, how exactly you achieve that, how far you can push that is debatable, but certainly that should be the goal. That if government is providing a service for you, well then why does it need to be provided by force? Why can't they do what everyone else does, which is compete for your business?
That's right.
You know, I mean, like if the police are the security, I'm sure all of us would be willing to pay for property protection, you know, like, but when we don't have a choice, we don't get a really great service.